Hello everyone and welcome back. I'm Danny and welcome back to Project Forge UK. It's been a while since I posted a video as I've been focusing on doing my house. I've been getting the roof on and trying to get it watertight. As you can see, I've just started to get stuck into the Fiesta. I've brought it to my mum and dad's where I'm working on the car. It's a miserable day today. The only thing I've managed to get done so far is put a rivet in the bonnet clips there. There wasn't one on and you just had to put it in the hole, but hopefully today's jobs that I'm going to get done are sort out the leaking thermostat housing, put the new thermostat in and put the new gasket on. I'm going to try and get the horn working as well. I can see where the bracket's actually rusted and snapped, so I'm going to have to try and find one of them or find something that looks like it could do. I'm also going to put the Airbox on and the new Airbox bracket as well, weather depending. So I'm going to get stuck into everything now and hopefully I can get some of these jobs done and get them all rattled off and get this car sorted. There is still the slight leak from the exhaust manifold as well. I've managed to get a standard manifold and I've managed to get a standard genuine forward cat as well. They used items off a scrapper but they look in good condition. I've still got an exhaust in storage that I was going to put in the RS 1800, so I'm going to see if all that lines up and fingers crossed that goes on as well. It'll quieten the car down as well and hopefully make it sound a lot better when you're driving it. That's the bonnet stay clip riveted in. It was a pretty satisfying job that. I've been waiting to get into storage to get my rivet gun out. It's took me eternity to find it, but I've done it now and it makes hell of a difference and I'm not worried about the bonnet stay pushing up and putting another dent in the bonnet. First job of the day today. It's now Sunday, it's miles drier than yesterday, I just had to give up. I'm going to whip the speedo cable off here at the gearbox and then move inside and take the gearbox off from the back of the instrument cluster. I'm going to, well, I should say, apparently you can take the cable out inside, give it a good clean up and a grease and that should stop the speedo bouncing between 10 and 30 mile an hour. So I'm going to get on with that now and see how we get on. I've took the clocks out and had the cable out, I've put it all back in now. I've given it a good WD-40 and lube up and a bit of grease at the other end. Hopefully that'll sort the bouncing cable out, but I won't know now until I start the car up, but I've got other jobs I do before I test drive it. So I'm going to move on now and start with the coolant leak. That's the coolant drop now into a bucket down at the bottom. I've had to put the car on a piece of wood just to get it up high enough because this car's quite low. And now I'm going to move on and start taking the thermostat housing off. I'm going to take it all off, clean it up and get the new gasket put on as well and hopefully that'll solve the leak. I took the thermostat housing off and there is no gasket on it. I think it's that seal that's in there at the moment is leaking slightly and allowing the coolant to come through the bolts and then drip down onto the gearbox. So hopefully putting this gasket on now will solve that and I'll stop losing that little bit of coolant which I'm doing at the moment. I've got a new gasket for the thermostat housing. I think they're about £4 off eBay. I'll put the link in the description down below where you can buy them from. And while I had the thermostat housing off, I thought it'd only be wise to replace the thermostat as well. I managed to get a genuine forward one, again off eBay, and I'll put a link into the description. It comes with a seal that goes around the outside. I'm going to get all this built back up now and slot it in, and I'm going to get the hose pipe in the car and flush the system out. I've just popped the thermostat cover off and there isn't even one in. I'm praying that this is because the old thermostat was broke and they just didn't want to put another one in. I'm going to top the system all back up now, build it back up, get it flushed out again, and then I'm going to run it up and fingers crossed everything works as it should. The fan kicks in and the temperature of the engine is moderated and works fine. So I'm going to build it back up now and see how we get on. I've got the hose pipe now running through the system. The water's running very clear. As you can see it coming down at the bottom there. So I'm going to switch that off now and get the coolant put back in and get the engine running, and fingers crossed, like I said, everything works as it should. The thermostat opens and the temperature stays fine on the car. I've been to Ford and got some Ford Super Plus Premium antifreeze, and I've also been to Whole Foods and got some deionised water. It was only £3.50 for that 5 litre tub, and again I'll put the link down in the description to buy it. And I just think it's always worth using this water when you're retopping up a coolant system. I've mixed up 4 litres of antifreeze now. That's 2 litres of the actual antifreeze and then 2 litres of the deionised water. I'm going to just top this system up now to maximum and then start it up, and hopefully the thermostat will open, I can get it topped up to the right level and everything will be fine. They say the slower you do this the better, and it allows all the air to come out of the system. I'm just going to let that settle for a second now, and I'm going to mix up the last litre, should I say. It's supposed to take 5 litres this system, so hopefully a bit more air will come out of that and then I'll get the car started. I've had the engine running now, everything was going fine. It's always nerve-wracking when you do anything with a coolant system, but I was keeping my eye on everything, and I was keeping my eye on that temperature gauge inside as well. It seems to take an eternity when you're watching and just letting the car idle for that thermostat to open and let the pipe, the water rush through, but you can feel the pipe getting hot, and it builds and builds and builds, and then you can feel that pipe coming out of the thermostat housing get really, really hot as the thermostat's opened. But as I was watching it, same as usual, I thought there was something weren't right and the coolant fan weren't kicking in. So I kept checking as well. I let it get nearly to red and I've just cut it off. I don't know whether I've not given it enough time to actually kick in, but I didn't want to risk it because it started steaming a bit here from the coolant expansion tank. I've took the multi-plug off the engine coolant fan switch and I've bridged the multi-plug with a paper clip, and I'm going to start the ignition now. Just turn it to position 2. I'm not going to start the car up and see if the engine fan kicks in, and if it does I suspect it's going to be an engine it's going to be the switch sensor down there that's going to need replacing, and hopefully I can get one today. As you could hear there, the engine fan's kicked in straight away because I've bridged the connection. So I'm going to get the part number now and try and get hold of a new cooling fan switch and get it installed and try this whole process again, and hopefully everything kicks in and the engine stays cool. As I thought, with it being Sunday, there's nowhere open where I can go and buy a new switch for the cooling fan. I'm going to have to wait till Monday. I'm going to order one now and hopefully it'll be here on Tuesday. But in the meantime, I'm now going to move on to the next job, which is changing that squealing fan belt. As you can hear there, it is squeaking a bit. I hope it is the fan belt, but I'm going to change that now. It's quite an easy job to do. That's a new belt put on now, all tensioned up. I'm going to start the engine and see if that squealing's gone. That's the original Airbox bracket put back in, a brand new air filter. I'm going to put the top on now. What a pain in the arse that were, but it's in. The K&N filter's gone, and hopefully it'll sound a lot better now. That's the standard Airbox back on now. Next job, I'm going to put this front grille back on. That's the front grille put on. I love these little things. I think they really finish the car off. They've got a bit of a gap usually on the RS turbos, but these didn't. I've struggled with getting hold of one of these, but I managed to get this for £30 off eBay, and it makes a hell of a difference. Next job is putting the interior door mirror panel on. Well, that's it for today. I've got quite a few jobs done. I can't fix the fog lights. I've had a look at the relay, which seems to be fine. It keeps popping the fuses. I've changed the bulbs as well and it still does it. The horn, I'm going to have to order a new horn because the other ones look like they've been rattled down the road and they're full of water as well. I've put the new brake fluid reservoir cap on as well. I've also done the fan belt, done the coolant, thermostat housing, put a thermostat in after finding out there wasn't one there, and I just need to get that fan switch ordered, and hopefully it comes early next week and I can get that put in as well. Thanks for watching, and as always, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, any comments, put them down below, and I'm going to get this car clean now and get it pictured and get it up for sale.